Stop recording video. Face centered. Speech off.
Hi guys, it's VI Life with Kelly, and I'm coming at you with a second video today. It's still the 6th day of January, the 6th day of the new year, the first Thursday of the new year, and it's 2022, guys. A phenomenal year. You want to know why I have low lighting? It's super early here in the morning, so good morning to you. And with or without visual impairment, after a while, the lights are so bright for me that I just need like a certain level of darkness just to soothe my eyes. And my vlogs are pretty much about, you know, the content, like they're information heavy. So I was thinking I've even considered becoming a channel that has like no visual. I actually listen to and subscribe to several I guess YouTubers or content creators that actually have no visual content. You know, for me it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm just listening. And so anyway, guys, so I'm thinking about that. I don't know. Because the whole purpose of me doing this channel as well was for you guys to see what I go through and to see how I function, and to connect with me in that manner. So who knows, but these are some of the things that I do. You know, sometimes I'm light sensitive, especially the screens on these phones are so bright. I have to keep the screen curtain on, so that makes the screen look like it's black. And so a lot of times I'll be using my phones and devices and people will be like, what is she doing? Thinking that I'm trying to use something that's not there, but really the screen curtain is on. So yeah, that's a reality for me. But this video is updating you guys on my law school journey. And so if you're interested in finding out about what's going on with that, keep watching. And so let's get into it, guys. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, share on your social media. That blesses me. And definitely let me know if you're interested in particular content, because I love making videos about things that you guys are interested in hearing about. So basically, initially last year, I was looking at going to law school, and I was following the steps, the traditional steps to getting into law school. And I did a couple videos on that. So if you want to check them out, I put them out like in November, so maybe like 2 months ago. Even possibly October, matter of fact, so 3 months ago. But I was following the traditional steps to get into law school. I was looking at taking the LSAT exam, which is the law school admissions test. I registered with LSAC, which is the Law School Admissions Council, which, by the way, is a great resource if you are looking at going to law school. If you're interested in it at all, definitely register with LSAC.org. They have a tons of events and forums and webinars and workshops that will give you so much information, things to consider, the process, the applications, what they'll show you what you need to do, how to fill out the applications, how to get in school, how to stay in school, funding, alternative funding. Like when I tell you that LSAC website and being a part of that is so valuable if you want to be successful. And they have tons of prep guides too for you to take the LSAT if you opt to. If you're applying to schools where you have to have an LSAT score, They have tons of prep exams on the website for free. They do give you information on how to obtain a fee waiver. So there's definitely steps for that. And they also offer you referral sites that they back, that they say, yes, this is a good source for more prep exam materials. Okay, guys. So anyway, I started the traditional processes and everything. So along the way, I was researching different schools, and while I was sorry guys, hold on, I was listening to another video, and a commercial popped on. And do you guys notice how loud the commercials are? Oh, okay, so now it's back on. Anyway, so um anyhow, I end up finding out amongst my researching and studying and attending these forums that every law school doesn't actually require an LSAT score and even a GRE score. And I'm going to tell you, I started looking out of pure curiosity if it was a such thing after I took several of those LSAT prep exams. And I was like, oh my God. Um, the questions are so compacted with forward and backward speech that you have to read them. You really have to be comfortable and used to reading paragraphs like that. That's why they tell you to study for like 3 to 4 months. Sorry about that. Because you need to get used to reading jargon like that so that you don't get lost. You need to be able to read, well involved, entangled sentences and be able to keep up with the consistent what is it? Because when I tell you guys, you just need to get on that website and do one of those prep exams and just do one question and you'll be like, oh my God. Because I was like, So I literally, because I thought I was going to do a whole prep exam because it requires you to do an exam in order for them to evaluate you. They'll give you an initial score. So they'll tell you, like, if you was to take the exam today, the LSAT today, this is most likely going to be the score that you make. And then it'll show you your areas where you need to improve, and it'll develop a plan for you. So you'll every single day you'll have this you're gonna work on. It's really good. It's really really good. So anyway guys, and then you put on there what your goal score or ideal score is, and then it'll teach you like what you need to do in order to reach that goal score. And you put in there like your test date, when you think you're going to take the test, when you want to take the test. Excuse me guys. So anyhow, so after I went through that process, I was like, let me see if there's a such thing as schools that do not require this LSAT. And to my surprise, there was a long list of them. So then I said, okay, let me see if there's a such thing as law schools that take your GRE scores, because I do have a current GRE score because I just took it again in 2019. So I was like, oh, well, let me see. So there is. So come to find out, there's a such thing as conditional admittance. And there are even some schools like Arizona State University that allow you to forego all standardized testing, and they base your first semester of law school scores on whether or not they're going to let you continue into the program, which is phenomenal, guys, because they said that standardized testing creates barriers because it's not a true assessment of whether or how competent you would be in completing law school or even becoming a lawyer. It's not indicative of that. So, guys, I looked at the list. There was tons of New York schools on there. Believe it or not, the top schools in the top law schools in the nation are on there. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Georgetown, NYU. When I tell you Cornell, UCLA, USC, University of San Diego is on there. Florida State University is on there. Mercer University is on there. Um, FIU is on there. Florida International University is on there. Albany State Law School is on there. I mean, you guys, University of Oklahoma Law School is on there. University of Houston Law School is on there. University of Texas at Austin is on there. Texas A&M is on there. University of Akron is on there. Penn State is on there. Columbia is on there. I want to say Purdue is on there. I mean, you guys, Boston is on there. It was a very long list, and I was surprised. I really was surprised that there were so many schools that were saying, yeah, we'll take you. University of Honolulu was on there. Hawaii. University of Hawaii was on there. And so if you Google right now, law schools that do not require the LSAT or law schools that take the GRE, is it a better search option? There will take you to this list. It has all the schools on there. You can click on the schools from that website and go straight to the application process. You can register for one of their workshops and informationals, like you name it. A lot of them have fee waivers for their applications. It'll say on the website, no longer requiring application fee. Like, you could contact the admissions office directly and ask them to email you a fee waiver. So with that being said, I was thinking immediately, like, okay, what school would I really want to go to? Well, I had gotten into Mercer University last year, actually, and I mean 2020. So I had been accepted into Mercer University in 2020, not for law school, but for another program. And so immediately I thought, well, Mercer is a great school. Let me see what they're talking about. At the time, they were still having in-person classes, and the campus where the law school is like in Macon, Georgia. So it was like, do I want to live in Macon, Georgia for 3 years? Probably not. But I mean, should we apply? Yeah, because your application also serves as a scholarship application. So it boils down to truly who has the best package, because who wants to walk away from law school with a tons of debt? Not I, you know? So, another school on there that had my interest for sure was Florida International University, for obvious reasons. It's in Miami, Florida, seconds from the beach. Of course, I want to be seconds from the beach for the next 3 years. Of course, I do. But I also had to look at where are their areas of expertise in their programs. What is that about? They do have an informational online here on YouTube, so I had been watching that. They did have one right before Christmas, like at the top of December, and they're having another one. So I'm going to attend their informational, but that was a huge influence on me. I looked at Florida State University, but they're in Tallahassee. They are nowhere near the beach. Like the closest beach is an hour and a half in Panama City, honestly. They do have some beaches, but they're not like, you know, Panama City or Destin or, Daytona, things like that. So, it's kind of tucked off, and they're also looking for you to have like their students have been coming in with a 3.86 GPA or higher. So they are one of the schools that don't even require the GRE. They're just looking at your GPA. So if you wanted to get into Florida State University, which they have a phenomenal program and they do have a great network, so you will not have to worry about employment, internship, anything. Florida State University is your school if you've got that undergraduate cumulative GPA of 3.86 or better. You're in there. Um, I looked at what else was on the list. I looked at University of Houston. That is a good pick. I've looked at University of Houston for several programs over the years. And so that has been a school that I have been good with. I actually initially, when I very first made my mind up, like, yeah, I'm going to law school, I was looking at Texas Southern University, which is an HBCU, historically black college or university. And I contacted them. I asked them tons of questions. I found out like what was their minimal LSAT score and GPA. Um, uh, and they were very forthcoming with their stats and what would be a competitive or considered to be a competitive application. They had reasonable LSAT scores. An LSAT score can be from 120 to 180. They were looking for something like 145 and better. I think they said on average their students were their admitted students were like averaging 149 or better. So a 150 would get me in. And I believe the GPA they were looking for was like 3.4 or better. With what the average, I think she said 3.46 was the average GPA coming into law school. So, that was really good. I asked them if they considered anything other than the LSAT score. And it was pretty much like, no, you needed to take the LSAT. I do think they said, depending on your GPA and your background, like your application, they would consider your GRE score. And there is a GRE conversion, what's it called, table online, where if you have your GRE scores, you can convert them to an LSAT score. So that's something you should consider. And if you're applying to a school that doesn't require the LSAT but does require the GRE, then you need to do that, so you can put that in there, in that field, to complete your application. So I do want to let you guys know that there are several schools, and most colleges of law are still accepting applications. Some schools deadlines in on the 15th of January, which is what is this? Which is next Saturday. Some schools applications deadlines are in February. Some of the schools, most of all the schools I've looked at and considered was March 15th. They did have late application deadlines that were like April 15th and May 15th. The latest application deadline that I've come across is June, to get into school this August, as in 7 months from now. So, if you were open to it, if that's something that you wanted to do, you've been dreaming about it, it's no time like the present. I'm trying to think that I look at, of course, I looked at being from San Diego, I looked at University of San Diego. I really thought long and hard about that. I'm still thinking about that, honestly. Um, and um, and I also looked at the same things as far as, what is their focus, because every school has their focus. They have, whether they're, a school that focuses on tax law or intellectual property law, or real estate corporate law, or civil rights, or like every school has their 4 to 5 um, key focus, points of law. And then, of course, you have general studies in law, and then you can go forward with a firm. That's what your internships are for, is for you to focus in the areas of interest that you believe, is your purpose, and gain that experience there. So, I think I've pretty much given you guys the information about where I'm at as far as the update on my law schools. I'm gonna do another video telling you all the turnout, like who did I apply to, um, and what response back I got. I see those are good videos. And those are questions that I get, like what schools did I end up applying to. Maybe I should do a video showing you guys the application process, because it is very lengthy. And there's tons of workshops that you can attend that give you advice on how to apply. And they're long, guys. Like, I thought those workshops were going to be short, like 30 minutes. They were like 2 hours, 3 hours long, showing us step for step, like why is it your application can get overlooked or kicked out for incomplete, things that you need to be aware of, and information that they do want to see, like things you would think that they didn't care about, but they actually do, that would benefit you, and how much they're really concerned with your undergraduate performance. And they don't really care like your age. If you graduated 15 years ago, they still really are concerned with what were you doing in your undergraduate years, your community service, your outreach, your volunteerism, your organizational commitments, like what was going on with you, where did you work, blah blah blah. And so you know, I definitely will do that. I'm going to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys the application process for me, like talk about that, and then I'll do another video where I show you guys what my GRE scores were, and how they converted to an LSAT score and what that was. And then I'll, depending on how long that video takes, I'll do another video telling you all what happened as far as who did I apply to, and what they said. Did I get in, or was it a conditional? Was I waitlisted? Like what happened? And then ultimately where I'm going. And then I'll talk about that, like, am I going to live on campus? Like what, and some of these schools have requirements that, you live within a certain proximity or what have you. But with everything going on, things change so much as well. Like what was going to be in person is online, you know what I'm saying? So I'll talk to you guys about that as well. Like, what is law school looking like in fall 2022? what is that experience going to be like fall 2022, and especially for someone like me, visually impaired, what does that look like? So, big things popping in 2022. But I did want to update you guys on my law school journey. I am definitely still going. It's still going. And that's that. I have not for sure committed to any area of practice. These are just my thoughts right now. So I'm really not gonna know for sure that I'm doing these things, I think, until I finish my first year. I think after I finish my first year, I'd be able to come back and tell y'all, like, yeah, I think I'm still going forward with the areas I thought at the beginning. Um, and then I think after I finish my first summer of internship, I think that's going to solidify some things for me as well. And so I'll come back and tell y'all about that too, because this year is going to go by really quick. These 3 years of law school are going to just float by, you guys. And just watching all the other law students here on YouTube is really inspirational. It's really encouraging, and it's just insightful. It's very helpful. I was watching this one guy's vlog that he just did. He just started law school in August, and he was just talking about how much reading, and then he has like boards all over his room that indicate what he has to do on what day, and then he like checks off whatever he did. And he just talked about like how your professors will just add assignments on the top of assignments, and how the majority of it's reading. And pretty much a typical day for him is getting up, working out, coming back, showering, eating, and then start reading. And he's reading no less than 150 to 200 pages a day. That's a normal day for him to stay on track and everything. So, but he was just telling us that was his first month. He's excited. He's got a level of anxiety, but he feels like that's the best thing that the best decision that he's ever made. So that's really cool that he feels that way. And matter of fact, his channel is Demario on Demand. So if you guys want to check him out, definitely let him know VI Life with Kelly sent you. But that's his channel, Demario on Demand. I watch a ton of law students, The Aspiring Boss. Some of the people's channels, I can't pronounce their names. So I'll definitely, once I get somebody to tell me like, what is this, like tell me character for character, I'll mention it going forward or put it in the comments. But that's what's going on so far, is me just navigating this thing of I don't want to take the LSAT, and I don't mind to get into school on a conditional basis or converting my GRE score to an LSAT score. And so that's really going to predicate what school I pick, honestly, because I do have some schools on the list that I have started the application process with that say they want an LSAT score. But things are changing, guys, and prayer still works. And I've been known to always get what I want. You guys, I've been known. I'm always the first one doing what I'm doing and applying where I'm applying. And I think that brings a level of favor for me, because it's like, well, she's here. Let's let her in. Let's see what she can do. Let's learn, because maybe we'll get some more, and we want to be ready, and she's willing to be the first one. So let's do it. So anyhow, guys, that is what's going on. Those are the schools in question. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a fantastic Thursday.
Speech on. Low power mode. Button.
Oh no.
Close. Button.
Okay,
Close.
guys.
Stop record. Stop. Face centered. Stop recording video.